I hate to act ignorant, but I'm going to because I'm just an old redneck. Is it safe to go to Puerto Rico?
I mean, I haven't been in a long time, but when I was there, yeah, I mean, it's America.
Well, yeah.
And in fairness, listen, this is going to sound like an asshole, and I don't mean for it to, but I just stay at the property. Like, like I'm
Yeah.
going to go to this resort on the beach. I'm going to eat at those restaurants. I mean, I have ventured out and eaten in a restaurant here or there, but I'm not doing a bunch of exploring. I'm going
Right.
to hang out at the hotel, hang out at the beach, hang out at the hotel pool. They usually, the one I stay at has a casino, couple cool restaurants. It's like, I got everything I need right here. Now, would we venture out and go to a fancy restaurant we'd heard about? Sure. Did I hit up the Palm down there? Sure. But like, I'm not going to see like street vendors and looking at little shops and trying to get a taxi somewhere. I'm not doing any of that.
Got it.
I felt really safe in Mexico City, though. I mean, I know that, my mom, she's probably a lot like Lois. Well, what about the cartel? I'm
Yeah.
like, Mom,
Right.
I'm not all that worried about that. Going to watch wrestling.
Yeah. Lois recently was in Chicago.
Did she
First
get
time.
shot?
No, first time ever.
Really?
She loved it.
And she had certainly heard it's the murder capital of the United
Oh,
States. And
yeah.
all this. And then
Yeah.
she went and had a great time.
That's right. That's something.
I just think, and maybe, and I'm not saying, listen, I'm a dude, so what the fuck? Who am I to say this? But I do think there's the same age where, that mother gene just kicks into overdrive and it's like, okay, calm down, mom. We're going to be all right.
Yeah, that's the case. And then she says, "Well, it's a great place to visit. And I wouldn't want to live there." You know the old cliche.
Yeah.
I said, "We're not living there. We don't
No,
have to live there." Okay.
no,
Okay. So is this Tiger Mask version 10 or something like that?
no. I think that guy who just jumped off was Bengala,
Oh, okay.
Ricky Marvin. Could be wrong on that. That's who I think it is. Hey, we got some more questions here. Let's hit some of these. Bobby wants to know, where do you prefer to announce wrestling, Tony? Ringside, ramp, or standing?
Uh, well, I prefer to stand, but you can't stand at ringside, so it's kind of tough. I really enjoyed I really enjoy the doing it at in Dallas at the esports stadium because we had these real tall chairs in the back and they were just really way too tall and I just stood in the back, so I enjoyed that. So, but as far as locations, ringside's the best place to do it.
By the way, I want to give everybody a heads up. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but when All In Arlington tickets go on sale or All In Texas tickets go on sale, I'm going to encourage you to jump on that because the rumor and innuendo is there might be some programming that's a part of that esports stadium as well. And I've never seen it. So I definitely want to see a stadium show in America for
Mhm.
AEW, but I also want to visit that esports stadium because I've never even been to one of those.
Yeah, it's
So I'm excited that I'm going to get to do that with you guys next year in Texas.
pretty cool. Lot of lot of gamer chairs around and everywhere. It was a pretty cool place. I really, really enjoyed it. Is this wait a minute. I know that person.
Yes, you do. It's Dvari. It's Sean Dvari. He's the brother
Of
of
Ari?
the Dvari that you have in AEW.
Of Area Davari?
Yes,
Yeah.
but you used to see him in WWE.
Okay.
This is probably one of Phoenix's first big national opportunities on television too. I mean, I think this is before he was in TNA and before he was in MLW and certainly before he was in AEW. Man, Jack Evans is a guy that I just thought for sure was going to be a big star when I first saw him back in '04. And I was so excited to see him be a part of AEW. I know he's no longer there now and he's taking a lot of blame for that on social media. Like he's saying, "Hey, it's my fault that I didn't have more success there." But man, he could do things physically that you just had never seen before, especially back in 04.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Some of the things that he did, he was just a spectacular athlete.
Yes. He really made a career for himself in Mexico too, which I think is super cool that he was able to, hey, WWE and WCW and Ring of Honor, and you had all these American companies, and he just didn't have a lot of opportunity in any of those. And I know that Court Bauer was high on him in MLW, and I saw him for a bit in Ring of Honor, and I think unfortunately he probably got a little bit of the baggage that came from being associated with Teddy Hart, and maybe that wasn't all fair. But from what I understand, he had quite the career in Mexico. I'll admit I haven't kept up with Lucha Libre the way I should have, maybe, but I was excited that, hey, we're going to see this guy in a big way in AEW, and it just didn't work out. Oh man,
Hmm.
what a deal! That's got to be it. Ray Phoenix is your winner. He's going to capture the Gift of the Gods Championship. That was a pretty slick looking finish right there, dude.
That was slick, and I not only like the belt, but I like the term "Gift of the Gods Champion."
Yeah. It's a cool looking belt too. It's different.
Yeah.
Oh man, we are back at it. It's Texano versus Blue Demon Jr.
With the Crew, and here comes the Crew. I guess you got to beat off the Crew too, so to speak.
You're going to beat off the Crew now? What were you saying?
You got to beat them away. Got to get
That's not
rid
what
of
you
them.
said.
I know what I said, and I know what you think I meant, but you didn't, because I know how your mind is. You got a terrible mind. 1, 2, and a 2 count.
No, I mean, the guys were attacked. Here's what I'm saying. Let's say you and I are sitting here having a conversation in my home studio in my office here in Gunnersville, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden a guy comes in, maybe multiple guys, maybe a crew of guys run in. I wouldn't say to myself, I know what to do. Let me just beat all these guys off right fast.
Mm.
I wouldn't run and get lotion and start, Mr. Miyagi and their wings. I wouldn't do that. It wouldn't even cross my mind.
Do you know you are the podcasting equivalent of Don Callis?
Am I? Is that a compliment?
Well, kind of. You're just full of shit.
Okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
It feels factual. We got a few questions here that we want to hit. Aaron Sheen wants to know, Tony, what are your thoughts on deathmatch wrestling? Is there a place for it, or is it just not your cup of tea?
Aaron, I've never seen deathmatch wrestling, but by the sounds of it, it's not my cup of tea.
You just saw it a few minutes ago with Vampiro and Conan. That was
that's deathmatch wrestling?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now and then.